Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, students. Evening, rather. How are you doing today?
Afternoon, sir.
Thank you for responding, Shauna. What about the rest of you? Mm. All right. So, already I think I'm going to have a challenge with this class because I don't talk to students and they don't respond to me. So, I think, um, I think this is a summer semester and I don't think I should put myself through this. So, we have an option to call off tonight. Um, and I can find somebody else, but I'm not going to be doing this straight up. First things first.
Sir, no, sir.
No, Shauna,
Yes,
Shauna,
sir.
I'm a serious youth. I've said this
Sir,
is
I
my,
know that, sir.
yeah,
No.
and this is my third time saying good night. I came on, there were two students and nobody responded. And
Oh,
I'm
sir, I
saying,
didn't hear. Probably I was
no, no, you
away.
weren't, no, you weren't here when I came. But I don't remember seeing you when I came on
Oh, okay, sir.
at first, right?
Sir, I
But
apologize for that, please.
no, no, no. They have a microphone to unmute to speak to me, and if I don't, matter of fact, I'll wait until you guys are ready to talk to me and then we can. But I mean, if the first impressions last, and the truth of the matter is, it is easy for me to find somebody else to do this section. I'm not. This is summer, and I'm not going to put up with this. So I give you a couple of minutes. Maybe you just get in and want a little break. So when you're ready, you can come back to me.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, sir, how are you doing tonight?
Okay,
Mm. All right. All right. I was just trying to speak to Dr. Gudapati, but I'm not able to reach her um to to find a substitute. But because I'm here tonight, just allow me to present to you what it is that I have planned for you, and then your substitute can take over from where I would have left off. So for those of you who are participating in the session tonight, um, I won't even go through the housekeeping matters because I'm confident that I won't be your lecturer for this semester. So we're gonna skip that. Say good evening, and let us just jump into um, tonight for applied math, and allow me to introduce to you some common food service measures and abbreviations, and I will just do the talking. Um, so for your applied math, you will need your syllabus is divided into two components. Component number one would be the universal food service calculation, and the second component would be your regular mathematics. And when I say regular mathematics, I mean things like your algebra, your statistics, and areas including your graphs. And but importantly, the food service calculations are very important. I'm not sure those of you who have been exposed to labor costs and food control, food costs and labor costs, whatever the course is called. It's very important. This course will go through the whole calculations. If you are in events management or events planning, and you are catering for, say, 200 guests, and you need to serve each guest 8 ounces of welcome drink, you will need to be able to do the calculation to see how many or how much of the drink you will need to have on hand. And you also have to take into consideration your spillage amount, to see how much it is at in the event that you're walking that tray and something falls or spills. At least you know you still can serve your remaining clients. Um, the course will also help you to calculate if you have the recipe for 5 cookies, and if you're baking 5 cookies, you follow the recipe directly. But what if it is that you want to bake 7 cookies? What are you going to be doing? Baking 10 cookies and then eat 3 for yourself and sell the 7. No, because it is not good for profit. So this is where we are geared in doing our calculations, and you will need to know your conversions for how to do those calculations. So when you go into the kitchen and you see they speak of a common T, it means that you're talking about a teaspoon, and the capital T is really tablespoon. And cup is going to be C, your pint is going to be your PT, your quart is QT, your gallon is G, your fluid ounce is FL, full stop OZ, and your pound is going to be your LB or the hashtag sign. Each, you will all know what each is, because when you buy your product, you may not see it as capital EA, but you may see it as a common EA. And your bunch will be your BU. I wanted to ask you to give me examples of what you purchase in a bunch, but I'll tell you. You may purchase a bunch of, hold on, please. Hold on for me, please. Sorry about that, right? So you'll buy a bunch of lychee, a bunch of guineps, a bunch of grapes, etc., etc. So that's where we'll use the word bunch, and then it is at when you're doing you're adding stuff, your salt or your sugar or your vanilla, your nutmeg, your cinnamon, your spices in general. We talk about to taste, where you use capital T, common T, right? So those common things are very important for you to have and for you to know. And then we're going to get into the other bits of conversions that you must know. You also must know that 1 pound is going to be equal to 16 ounces. You must know that 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. If you want to use 2.21, that's fine. If you want to use 2.2, that is also acceptable. With the unit of conversion that are being used now, if you purchase your rice in bulk, you'll recognize that rice is not sold by the pound anymore in the supermarket. It is sold by the kilogram. So when you pick up a kilogram of rice, you're not buying 1 pound of rice. If you pick up a kilogram of rice, you're not even getting 2 pounds of rice. You're getting 2.21 pounds. All right. And you must know that 1 cup is going to be equal to 8 fluid ounces. 1 cup is going to be equal to 8 fluid ounces. And you must also recognize that liquid weight is different from dry weight. Liquid weight is different from dry weight. So I will have I will have um if I have my liters will be measured in liquid, of course, liters, and 1 liter is equivalent to 33.8 fluid ounces. Now, let me just show you um, a way of remembering what is happening here. Uh, 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, I'm sorry, is going to be equal to 3 teaspoons. So you'll recognize that the tablespoon will be bigger than the teaspoon. 1 teaspoon is about 2.5 milliliters, roughly. Which is why when you take your medication and let's say take 2 tablespoons or take 1 teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, right? Or 5 milliliters rather. And you'll have your cup to be equal to 16 tablespoons. Go ahead, Shauna.
Sir, I'm just asking if you're sharing because I'm not seeing your screen.
Okay, well, I thought I was sharing. Oh yes, I got kicked off. Let me go and reshare again. Thank you. Not even that the class could say, sorry, I'm not seeing the screen. Psh. Shauna, let me know if you're seeing it now, dear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, thanks. So, so 1 cup is going to be equal to 16 tablespoons. 1 cup will be equal to 16 tablespoons. And you are going to have your tablespoon is going to be equals to 1 tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons. If you're in the kitchen and you need to measure a cup of chicken broth, for argument's sake, and you cannot find a measure of a cup, but your ingredients are drying out over the plate, and you must add your wet ingredients. All you do is just find a tablespoon, and you count it 16 times, and then you'll have your cup of stuff. And this is what, when you go into kitchens and things are so far away, you have to be able to convert between units and between measures. So if you're looking for 1 cup of chicken broth, and that 1 cup of chicken broth, we can't find a cup, but you have a tablespoon at hand, you dip in that 16 times and pour it into whatever container that you're looking at. So 1 tablespoon is going to be equal to 3 teaspoons, and you know that 16 of those teaspoons is equal to 1 cup. But also 1 cup is going to be equal to 8 fluid ounces. 1 cup is going to be equal to 8 fluid ounces. Now, if I say to you that 8 fluid ounces is equal to 1 cup, and 1 cup is equal to 16 tablespoons, how many teaspoons are there for in 1 cup?
Good afternoon, sir. Could you repeat the question?
If there are 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup, and there are 16 tablespoons in a cup, how many teaspoons are there for in a cup?
48.
48 is correct. Now, one tablespoon is equivalent to a half fluid ounce. 1 tablespoon is equal to a half fluid ounce. Remember, fluid ounce is measuring liquid. Fluid ounce is measuring liquid. Liquid is volume. When I'm measuring weight, I'm measuring solids. I'm measuring solids. So 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. Is equal to 16 ounces. Totally different from 16 fluid ounces. So 16 fluid ounces is not the same thing as 16 ounces. 16 ounces is referring to weight of a solid. 16 fluid ounces is referring to volume in terms of liquid. All right. So 1 tablespoon is approximately equal to a half fluid ounce. 1 tablespoon is approximately equal to a half fluid ounce. How many fluid ounces are there in 1 teaspoon?
1.5.
No.
Sir, can you repeat the question, please?
So in 1 tablespoon, it's approximately equal to a half fluid ounce. So when you take a tablespoon of something, so you're making bread pudding, and the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon, but in one cookbook, but in another cookbook it says a half fluid ounce. a half fluid ounce. But you know that a half fluid ounce is equivalent to 1 tablespoon. I am asking you, what if the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon? How many fluid ounces are there in a teaspoon?
Oh, sorry, sir. Would it be a quarter?
No.
I don't think I understand. Don't know.
All right, you don't understand the question. All right, so what I'm saying to you is, so you have a tablespoon. You know what a tablespoon is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And you fill that tablespoon. When you fill the tablespoon, the measure in fluid ounce will be a half.
Right.
So that's a half fluid ounce, right? How
Right.
many teaspoons are there in a tablespoon? How many teaspoons are there in a tablespoon? I just told you, it's right up here. Look at that.
Half, sir.
How many teaspoons are
That's
there
3,
in a
sir.
tablespoon? Thank you. There are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon.
Yes, sir.
All
Right,
right?
sir.
Good. So if I say to you, 1
1
tablespoon
tablespoon.
contains 0.5 fluid ounce, how many fluid ounces are there in 1 teaspoon?
Sir. Can I repeat the question? Sorry.
You want me to repeat the question another time?
Sure.
Okay, so final time.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tablespoon and I fill it with some vanilla extract. What it is that I'm transferring into my batter is a half fluid ounce. It's a half fluid ounce. Another recipe calls for 1 teaspoon. I am asking, how much fluid ounce do I have in a teaspoon? If I have 1 teaspoon and I fill that teaspoon, how many fluid ounces is that?
One over 6.
And how did you get 1/6?
Alright, so sorry. So we gonna get 1/6. Right, so remember that 1 teaspoon into fluid ounce is half. So if you so I remember that 3 tables no one No, I made a mistake. So 1 tablespoon equivalent to a 3 equal to 3 teaspoon. Teaspoon, yeah. So what I do is that I calculate the 3 times the 2 by no 3 times the 1.5. My apology, and I get it. So 3 into 2 give you 6. Although yeah, that is the reason I'm getting to it. Because it's a whole. The 3 is
Sorry,
a whole. So I'm getting
say that again. You do what?
I.
Repeat the process. Yeah, go ahead.
So the reason why I get 1/6, I calculate the 3, which is the old, which is remember that 1 tablespoon equivalent to 3 teaspoons, and 1 tablespoon is equivalent to 1.5 fluid ounce. And the question said
No,
that we should find how much fluid ounce is in a tablespoon.
a teaspoon.
No, not tablespoon. Sorry, teaspoon. Sorry. So I calculate the 3 by the half. So
How? That's what I wanted to say. Tell me
oh,
how.
so 1 tablespoon equal to half. So 2 tablespoon is 1. Oh, that'll be 1 because half and half is a 1/4. So I don't know if I saw two and 1/4, 1/4, and the third it'll give me 1/6.
What operation did you use to arrive at the 1/6?
1/6.
Sorry, let's see me division.
Let me ask you a question. You go down a town and you buy a heap of chocho. And them say, you ask, Mums, how much I eat for the chocho here? Them chocho here. And she said, $150. And I said, all right. And you get 3 chocho in it. How much you pay for 1 chocho?
$50, sir.
How you know that?
Sir, because you pay 150 for 3 and you divide 150 by 3, so it'd be 50 for 1.
All right, hold that thought. A half fluid ounce is in 1 tablespoon, but 1 tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons. How many fluid ounces are there in a teaspoon? What do you do?
Divide, sir.
Sir,
By?
Sir?
sorry, so you divide half by
3.
3.
Very good. And that's how you get the 1/6.
Yes, sir.
Was that difficult?
Not really, sir, but I wasn't sure.
All right. No, let me tell you the importance of this exercise I'm doing here. It's very important because when you go into the kitchen to work, I know some of you, and I mean, maybe because of how we starting off this session, I don't do any, and purposefully, I don't. This is the first time I can ever think of me being in a class without doing any housekeeping and doing any introduction. But I guarantee that we're gonna have some of this for the class because I'm definitely not gonna go through this. Trust me, this is summer. I need an easygoing session where teacher and student can look forward to coming to class and learn. But you're going to be placed in a setting at some point in time where, especially if you're going to a hotel, you may be doing accommodation as your option. Um, I don't think we offered events as an option. You may be doing housekeeping as an option. Food and beverage is something that you don't want to do. And a lot of students don't want to do because them say it's expensive. Some students want to do because they have a plan. But you apply to Iberia Star for housekeeping. And they say, well, your resume looks impressive. You went to Excelsior. We know Excelsior's program. You went on the overseas work internship and you did very well and you worked at Cordon Bleu and you were in the kitchen in Cordon Bleu and yeah, you did travel and tour, but you have experience in the kitchen. We need somebody, but we need somebody like you, and the kitchen work is what we have. I'm sure getting a job at Iberia Star and your dream place to work, for argument's sake, you're not going to turn them down and say, oh no, I am not going into the kitchen. I want to work at the front desk, or I want to work in accommodation, or whatever the situation is. They're going to take the work because you want to work. No, you can't go into the work and go on like, you ain't going to school. Or the hard trainee is outperforming you, the degree person in the kitchen. So your conversion must be at your fingertips. Your conversion must be at your fingertips. All right? Because if you don't know your conversions, you are going to be in problems. All right? So let's go. 1 tablespoon, sorry, is equal to 3 teaspoons. But I also know that 16 teaspoons is equal to a cup. And a cup is going to be equal to 8 fluid ounces. Now, if 8 fluid ounces are there in a cup, and I have 16 fluid ounces to make a pint, how many cups therefore make a pint? There are 8 fluid ounces in a cup, but there are 16 fluid ounces in a pint. How many cups are therefore in a pint?
Sir, 2 cups.
Very good. So 2 cups make 1 pint. You see how this piece up here is interrelated to this piece, and that this piece is connected to this piece, but this piece is also connected to this piece? It's conversions. They're all conversions. Hear me out now. So 1 pint is equal to 16 fluid ounces. But 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. How many fluid ounces are therefore in a quart?
32, sir.
And that would be correct. Very good. 32. Interesting. All right. How many fluid ounces are there in a gallon? Think about it. How many fluid ounces, therefore, and that's a follow-up question to the answer that I just got a while ago. How many fluid ounces are therefore in a gallon?
Eight, sir.
Think about it. Come on, no. If 1 quart has 32 fluid ounces, 4 quarts can have 8. How many fluid ounces are there for in a gallon? Sorry.
Sir, repeat the question, please.
Sir, is it 128?
And that will be correct. So there are 128 fluid ounces in a gallon. All right. Now, when you buy your 2-liter soda, or better yet, you buy your 1-liter soda, your 1-liter soda contains 33.8 fluid ounces. Your 1 liter contains 38.3 fluid ounces. All right. So it means that if it's 33.8 fluid ounces, it's just a little bit over a quart that you're having. Just a little bit over a quart, because a quart is 32 fluid ounces and a liter is 33.8. So it's 1.8 fluid ounces more. So it's not a quart that you're having, it's just a little bit more than a quart. All right. And then you have your liter is also equal to 1,000 milliliters. All right. All right, students, I'm not going to be staying the whole time with you tonight. I can definitely lie in my bed and talk these things out to myself. Um, I promise you that I will find somebody else for the session, but I can make this conversion skill available to you in the chat. So if you want, you can download it. But just allow me to do one more thing with you, and then we skedazzle. Something that is very useful that you'll be able to take right through your career in hospitality. Let me see what is happening here now. Oh, come on. All right, so I'm gonna give you a conversion here. Kick him down, mister. Don't commit murder. Millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, decameter, hecameter, and kilometer. I could also say, kick him down, grandma. Don't commit murder. Milligram, centigram, decigram, gram, decagram, hecagram, kilogram. When I go up, you step up into life, it means you get bigger, so you're multiplying your wealth. When you go down, it means that you're getting poorer, so it is that you're dividing. Down, D-O-W-N, for divide. All right? So the D for down and it's for divide. Now, if I were to move, if I'm converting 1,000 millimeters to meter, it means that I'm moving from millimeters because that's where I am and this is where I want to go. So I'm moving from millimeters to meters. So I'm going to go 10 units, 100 units, 1,000 units. So each movement that I take is going to represent 10 units. So that's 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. So all I need to do is to divide 1,000 by 1,000. So the answer is going to be equals to 1. So 1,000 milliliters is equals to 1 meter. 1,000 milliliters is equals to 1 meter. All right. What if I ask you to convert 0.25 grams to milligrams? What direction am I going?
So you're going up.
And what do I do when I go up?
Multiply.
I multiply. Good. So because I'm starting here at my grams, right here, I'm going to go 10 units, 100 units, 1,000 units. So it means because I'm going up, I'm multiplying. And what's the base figure? I'm multiplying by 1,000. So it's going to be 1,000 multiplied by 0.25. And that is going to give me 250 milligrams. Very important again, especially if you're doing, if you're like a pastry chef, you'll be working a lot in weights. You may be doing a truffle cake, and you may want to have your chocolate rinds around it, and you purchase your chocolate in bulk, or you may have the Cadbury chocolate and you are pretty much melting it, and you melt it and you pour it on a stone cold machine, and then you're cutting it into strips, thin strips, so that you can um, line your cake, or you're cutting into strips so it is that you can make a chocolate rose out of it. You will need to know the weight of it, because that's how you calculate your money. You can't just go out there and just make stuff without knowing what it is that you're doing. And what is important also, as you will see, well, your lecturer will take you through the course where you will know how to price your food, because you can't just cook a food and just share 2 spoons of rice and piece of chicken and slap that two asparagus in it and say, yo, all that, give me 20 US. No, you have to know your serving size, because the truth is, if I am at a I am at a function, say a wedding reception for argument's sake, and the food is being served by the waiters, we're not doing buffet style, they're serving by the waiters, and everybody around my table get 5 pieces of asparagus, and then when my plate come on with 2 in it, we're gonna have a problem, because I forgot to find the other 3 and put it on my plate. And there is no way somebody can get 2 pieces of chicken in a feeding plate and you only give me 1. It's curry favor. All right? You can't give me 2 ice cream scoop of Irish potato, but yet still the other persons around the table getting 3 scoops. It's the same amount of money the bride and the groom will be paying for my plate as they're paying for yours. So when you're doing that, you have to get very close to 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 consistency, because remember, each calculation will show you the serving size. Because if I have that information here. All right. So when you're pricing your meal, you have to calculate the edible costs per portion. So when you go to a hotel and you look at their price list, it is well calculated. Don't think, say, when you go to the juice maker man and say, yo, blend up a little daiquiri for me, that he knows that when he puts 2 squirts of strawberry concentrate and he puts a scoop of cube ice and he's going to put a half cup of water, he knows that you're going to get 16 ounces of crushed ice strawberry daiquiri. And he has to follow that, because if he uses 1 cup of water, he's going to end up with more product that is not going to have the sweetness to it, and then he will have to waste it. And the company is going to be losing money in that regard. So you have to stick to making your drinks. When you go to Starbucks, just watch what the guys are doing. They know how much coffee to put in the blend in order to make a nice cappuccino. They know how much vanilla to put in the stuff to make that. They know how much of what whipped cream versus whole milk to put in there in order to get the product, so that there is consistency. KFC uses these calculations a whole lot, so that hopefully every time you buy KFC, the taste is supposed to be consistent. Domino's Pizza does it, Pizza Hut. These fast food places taste this patty, mother's patty, because if they don't do this, it means that at some point in time, the food is going to taste different from the other time. So you have to be very consistent with how it is that you're doing, making your product. Consistency means that you'll keep your customers, and that's what you want to do. And it also means that you are maximizing your profit margin. You're maximizing your profit margin, because if you don't maximize your profit margin, you're going to be working yourself into a deficit, and you're going to be bankrupt at some point in time. So nobody goes into a business to operate at a loss. They go into a business to make some gains. So those are the calculations that we are going to be doing. At this point in time, I'm feeling led to stop. I'll take your questions, and then I think you should have a class on Wednesday. I called both Miss Dr. Goodapati and Miss Black, but none of them are answering. So, are there any questions? And we'll call it a day for today.
There is just a concern.
Uh-huh.
Sir, I want you to teach, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to teach desperately.
Yeah.
Sir,
I
I
hear
feel
it.
the same way.
Yeah, but I don't teach a class when I'm asking questions, and there are students in the class who pretend as if they can't speak. That's not my
Sir,
style
I
of
saw
teaching.
some message after I started to put you there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the students were saying that they were leaving work, so they only can send message. But I realized that you said your chat not working, so you wouldn't see that also.
Right. Um, I don't do it well. As I said before, I can lie in my bed and I can talk these conversions to myself until I fall asleep. When my classes ought to be interactive, and if it is that you're going to be leaving work at this time and unable to speak, it means that applied math shouldn't be at this time of the evening, because you guys are unable to participate. What I'm saying to you is there's a strong correlation with students participating in class and what it is that you write on an exam paper. Because some of you hold on to your misconceptions. I am not teaching you face to face where it is that I can correct your misconceptions. I'll have to hear when you speak and say to you that what it is that you're saying is not correct. So if you can speak to any student about me, I I I think I can be a very nice person, but I can also move from 0 to 100 in a jiffy. And part of the thing is when I'm teaching, don't play with my teaching. Teaching is my first love. And when I come to class, you're supposed to come ready. I'm not supposed to be saying, guys, are you understanding? Guys, can you unmute and talk? No, I'm not. This is tertiary. I ain't doing that. I don't expect to get that from me. Right. So as it is just now, this first impression, first class is has left a bitter taste in my mouth. And honestly, I called Miss Black and Dr. Goodapati just now. None of them answer to tell them to find somebody else for the class because this is summer. It's supposed to be a little easier for me. And I really don't want to be going through and have the hassle to teach and students are not talking. Nah, not into that. So as a result of that, I'm ending the class. Now I will send, let me just do this before I cut. Let me just stop share 1 minute, please, guys, so that I can I can am I still sharing? Stop share. So I can send you the stuff. A chain is as strong as its weakest link here, and you students must realize by now that, and my tourism students in particular, that math oftentimes is not their favorite subject, and that math has abused some of you to the point where when you came into this hospitality program, you're very disappointed to know that you have to do more math.
Yes, sir.
Good. So if I were you, what I would have done is to just come to class and just focus on what the teacher do. And why is this thing not copying all the way? Let me go again. Yeah. So um, I am not. I'm not impressed to the least of. Okay, good. Of the reception. Uh, hmm. All right, let me know if you can download that document, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one. You can read it at your leisure, and I'll have a conversation with your heads of department to see the way forward. All right. Thank you guys for coming out.